Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to Euron. And now in this lecture, guys, so I'm going to talk about a tuple. So tuple is another data structure that you will be able to find out inside a Python, a very important one. So let's go ahead and let's try to understand. This chapter is not very big, but yeah, so it's important one. So guys, we talked about a list and we have seen that inside a list, I can try to store any kind of a data that I want. And I can try to do like a lot of operations inside those data that I'm going to store it. Now here, I'm going to talk about a tuples. Tuples is another kind of a data type, so which you can try to represent with the help of this open and close parenthesis. Now here, if I'm going to execute it and if I'm going to just check that what is a type of this T, what is the type of this T? So it is going to tell me that it's a tuple. By default, Python will be able to understand that I'm talking about basically a tuples. Okay, that's great. Now, so here, what kind of a data I can try to store inside the tuples? So I can try to store maybe like a integer over here. I can try to store some sort of a floating point number. I can try to store some sort of a string inside this one. I can try to store some sort of a complex number over here. And I can try to store maybe some sort of a Boolean value over here. Now everything I'm able to store, just like a list. Now, where is a difference? What is the difference between tuples and a list, by the way? Because whatever operation which I was able to do it with respect to a list, I'm able to perform the exact same operation even with respect to a tuple, at least so far, right? At least so far, I'm able to like do everything, right? Everything. So how this is different? Let me talk about that difference, guys. So here I have created a tuples. Okay, that's fine. Now let's do a T of 0, which is nothing but I'm trying to access the data. So I'm trying to do an indexing operation. Now indexes of this tuple will be same as a list, same as a string that we have discussed. Yeah. Even I can try to get a slice of it if I want. So start from like a 2 and then go till 8, give me the data, and it is going to give you the data. So I will be able to get even a slice of it. So it's exactly same. String, list, and tuple, nothing different. Yeah. In terms of indexing, in terms of slicing, forward order or maybe a reverse order. So I'm not going to talk about that again and again and again. I have already discussed that a lot in my string chapter. Yeah, you can go and follow back that one. So here, let's suppose I'm going to access a T of 0, right? And at T of 0, I would like to make a changes. Maybe I would like to store maybe my name over here instead of 3. That is a difference. That is a difference between list and the tuple, the major one. Tuple is basically a tuple is basically a immutable entity, whereas list is a mutable entity. Now, what is the meaning of that? Let me explain that. Now here, so I'm going to create a list, 3 element. Yeah, simple. I'm going to create a T1, a very simple element inside this. So maybe one of the simple element, right? Now list of 0, I'm going to access. Now at list of 0, I can try to make a changes. So if I would like to store a Euron, I can try to EURON, I can try to store it. Yeah. T1 is basically a tuples. So T of 0, I can access it, same. But T of 1, T of 0, if I would like to make a changes, I can't make it. So tuple is a immutable element. It is not going to allow you to do a item assignment. Now you can't come and say that I'm going to convert it and then assign it. Or you can't say that I have just changed it and then reallocated to the same variable. No, that is not called as item assignment, right? So item assignment simply means that if at the same location where data is available, for example, 4 is available or 2 is available, if I'm going to make a change in the exact same address into the exact same location, so that is not been supported by a tuples. Tuples are basically immutable entity. Immutable entity means you can't change at a particular location. You can't change the tuples at all. Right? I'm not talking about the reassignment. Many people comes with a confusion saying that it's a item reassignment. I can do it. And yeah, I'm able to change it. No, you are not able to change it, by the way. Yeah, you are not able to change it, by the way. You are just trying to recreate the same thing in a different address, different location. That's it. Yeah, but yeah, address is different. Now here, tuple is a immutable entity. Now where we can try to use tuple, by the way, then. So I can try to use a tuple where I don't want anyone to modify my data or mutate my data. In that particular place, I can try to use what? I can try to use basically a tuple. Very simple, right? I can try to use a tuple at that particular place. This is where like a usability of a tuples comes into a picture. Now, so here, let's suppose if I have a tuple t, will I be able to iterate over to it? So yeah, I can do it. So for example, for I in t, and then one by one, I can try to extract the data. So print I, and yeah, I'm able to extract the data over here easily. If I have to write some sort of a condition, I can write it just like a list. In case of a list, I have already done that. Yeah. So for example, if I have to just extract an integer out of this entire tuple value, I can do that for I in t, and then I can write that if type of basically this I is equal to integer, then in that case, try to print what? So print I, and it is able to filter out just an integer out of it. As you can see, right? It's able to filter out just a integer out of this entire one. So I can write like any kind of a condition that I want. It's completely fine. Now, one more thing, let me talk about with respect to a tuple. So here, right here, let's suppose I'm going to define a variable a is equals to 1, b is equals to 2, and c is equals to 3, right? C is equals to 3. Separately, I'm trying to assign the variable. What I can do is maybe I can try to take a tuples t, and I can say that 1, 2, 3. Even in this way, it's completely fine. And then I can just try to pack it. I'm just trying to do a packing over here. And then maybe I can try to do a unpacking in a later stage. A, B, C is equals to t. It's exactly same. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 2, and C is equals to 3. Automatically, it is able to assign. So this operation is called as basically unpacking operation. So I'm trying to pack it inside a tuples, and then I'm trying to unpack it, right? So one by one, I can try to refer to it, and then eventually I can try to access each and everything. Now, let's suppose I have a tuples t, and I would like to see what an all inbuilt function I have. So inside a tuple, only 2 inbuilt function you have. One is a count, which is similar to the list. So it is going to give you the count of basically, the particular element. So I'm looking for a count of 1. How many times 1 has appeared? 1 has appeared only 1 times, right? And then the second function is basically t dot index. So it is going to give you the very first occurrence of a particular element's indexes. So for example, I am going to give you 2. Let's suppose 2 is multiple times. As of now, we have just 1 times over here. But let's suppose 2 is multiple times. It is not going to give you the indexes of all those 2's. It is going to give you the indexes of the very first occurrence of that particular 2. Fine. Okay. So this is how this entire tuple is going to work, guys, by the way, for all of you. Yeah. So tuple is not a difficult one. It's not a different one. It is a easiest one, and you will be able to perform any kind of operation that you want. If I would like to keep a tuple inside a tuple, so whether I will be able to keep it or not, basically it's called as nested tuple. So yeah, I will be able to keep tuple inside a tuple. Let's suppose someone is asking me that try to extract 5. I can extract 5 out of it. How? So t, and then go to the index of this. So what is the index of this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this 5. So this entire tuple is available, internal tuple is available at 5th index. Now out of this, I have to extract, let's suppose 5. So 0, 1, once again. So 0, 1, and I'm able to access this particular 5 as well. Simple, right? I'm able to access this particular data at a particular location at a particular indexes. So this is how I will be able to even access a data. Let's suppose if I have a tuple t, same tuple I'm going to consider. And if I would like to hold maybe a list inside this one, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can hold it. I can hold a list even inside the tuple. And this way I was like able to get this one from a tuple. In the similar manner, I can get this one. So this is available at t of 6 indexes. So from t of 6 indexes, then I can try to iterate over to it. Yeah. So these are the basic operation that you all will be able to find out. Now there is a length function you can try to use to find out how many elements are there in total. So there are in total 7 elements starting from index 0 to 6. So length is going to work. For loop is going to work. I have already shown you the example. Indexing and slicing is already, we have seen it is going to work. So I believe, guys, we all are able to understand tuples, how tuples is different from a list. Remember always one thing. So tuple is a immutable entity. You can't assign some values at some location with respect to a tuples, which you can do it eventually with a list, basically, right? So with that, guys, thank you so much. See you again in my next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Please solve the assignment. That's important.